Hey, what's going on?
Nothing much. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Ah, I'm so grateful this week is over.
Right.
Ah, okay. I'm so grateful that this season is almost over for this show.
I mean, COVID played a huge part in it, so I'm not gonna like completely dog them out for it, but it just wasn't great. That's all. That's all. I mean, they're allowed to have one bad season, and I don't think the season was bad totally to their own fault. I mean, you lost Cameron right before the season started, and then you had the COVID peoples. So
Mhm.
I'm not gonna completely dog them out for this.
Okay, so what we're talking about is Southern Charm season 7, episode 11, reunion part 1. As you come into the room, please don't forget to give us a thumbs up. All right, so it opens with them being socially distant on the set. Looked like a huge set, though. Oh
It
my
was a
God.
huge set. I was like, wow.
Yeah, somehow the other socially distant, it reminded me of Potomac.
Yes.
The scope of how big
Right.
this set was reminded me of that. It just seemed like a big open warehouse space, but it
But
looked cute.
it did, but they had more cast too, so they had to.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
that made sense.
Yeah. So they open up with the ending scene of the finale, um, with Kathryn taking the pregnancy test.
hmm We we knew
Um,
she wasn't pregnant. You know, like yeah, I'm like this. You guys tried. I'm gonna give you credit. You tried to suck us in with that. We
such
weren't going for
a
it.
struggle. This is such a struggle for me. Do you know what I noticed from them showing the clip of her doing the pregnancy test?
Her dirty door.
Her dirty bathroom door, and then the one missing door on her closet.
I didn't. I was too focused. I didn't notice the closet. I was too focused on her on that. That's a dirty door. I'm like,
What in the
ma'am.
Bojangles is going on with that townhouse?
I mean, she has to she definitely has to do some renovations too. But I thought like it looked like just dirty handprints. So I'm like, you wouldn't have like washed it down before you knew that. I mean, you knew they were filming, so I thought you would do better.
Did you notice the configuration where those fingerprints were? They were from the middle of the door all the way up to the top.
Yeah,
Why? Who's opening up? Who's touching your door all the way up on the top? Y'all are just nasty.
I mean, if it were kids, I could
They'd
see
be
the
down
bottom
at
of
the
the
bottom.
exactly, exactly. That's
So
why I
that's
was at.
all adults. So ew. And where's your other closet door? Get your
And
act
who
together,
and
Catherine.
who's been in your house? Like who have like okay? The way the door prints were, the way they like were like door handprints,
Mhm.
like Caleb's been over that much
You know,
because
you know what it feels like? I have a cousin who used to do this. He would just hang on a door.
are you serious?
Yeah, like not hang fully, but say like he's standing up talking to me. He would
Okay,
then prop his hand on the door
gotcha.
and just like swing.
Like lean, swing or lean on it, right?
Yeah, like he's one of those people that always have to like lean on a wall or touch something. You know, like your mom always tells you don't touch the walls to make them dirty. Not him.
Yes,
He's
yes,
always got to be like hanging off of a door. And it's infuriating. So I feel like somebody who comes to her house does that. I can't believe that
exactly.
this is what we're talking about for this reunion.
I mean, but it was so noticeable. It wasn't even like it was hidden. That's the problem. That's my issue. It wasn't like
Mhm.
something obscure. It was like like they literally like focused on the door because she was coming out the door.
I just found it odd because for someone who takes like so much effort to present, like to dress up in these clothes and present herself as like a fashionista or something online, like I would think that she would put that much effort into her home. I get it, she has little kids. And things can go awry with them. But I don't know. This didn't match up with little kids.
Right, because where the handprints are. Yes.
Mhm. Then we find out that Leva opened up her 4th restaurant. Yay.
Yay.
I don't know how that's gonna go. Like, they have admitted that they've had a lot of problems with the pandemic, and especially with their city, which is hospitality, food and beverage base.
Mhm.
It's been rough. So I applaud her for opening up a new business during the midst of all of this.
I was amazed
Um,
that she was able to do it. I was like, you better do the thing.
mhm, mhm. Then we congratulate the pillow prince, Craig. Um, I'm not even gonna shade him. Good for him. We
Yeah,
were asking for direction for years now.
and we
Seems he's
got it.
finally found it. I'm not even gonna complain. Congratulations, Craig.
He was too funny. Craig, I mean, this I always kind of like Craig. I wish the best for
Mhm.
him, but like when he went in on Patricia, I was like, oof. He's all, do not come. He's like, do not come for me. I was like,
Um, when we got to that part in the show, I was like, "Craig, you're a businessman now. Don't be petty, be professional."
but what he said, he's like, I'm not being mean. It's just the truth. He's like, I'm not lying. I'm like, but you reading her for filth on this reunion,
Mhm.
and you were mad because like what she said, and I'm like, I'm not gonna be mad at you I'm not gonna be mad at you for it when you tell the truth. And I'm like, well,
And the producers were shady because they showed his pillows from the HSN appearance, but
yep,
they showed her pillows look like, needlepoint.
right.
Are those the pillows that she's selling?
It has to be.
I Okay, so remember when was it last season or season before last when he brought over those samples to her
Hmm.
that were like clip art or something she accused him
Right.
of, and she said that they looked cheap and no effort and blah, all of that?
Hmm.
Who's buying needlepoint now?
Yeah.
I just don't think it's suitable for the market now if
Right.
those are the pillows that she's doing, because I would never buy one of those. And not saying that I'm the most hip person ever, but I would not buy needlepoint.
Because so for me, needlepoint is not to be used every day. That's the only reason I would. To me, needlepoint, like due to the work that goes into them, I wouldn't use them. To be honest, I would like sit them somewhere and like stay there, don't move.
Needlepoint screams like, I don't know,
Aunt Gertrude,
great
Aunt
great
Bertha,
great grandma.
right?
Like, I don't
Auntie,
know anyone who's ever needlepointed in my
Auntie,
family.
Auntie Eloise. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I don't know.
Very
His just
outdated.
seemed very
Hmm.
contemporary and had a viable market, and hers did not seem that way. I would hate to think that that was her luxury product.
Right. No, I'm with you on that one.
Let's see who else. We find out, well, we don't get to go into any more updates because it seems like Craig came with both of his pistols strapped and loaded for Madison.
Yeah, he wasn't playing with the people.
But why is he so angry at Madison? Why is he talking about her little dalliance with some ex-MLB player during lockdown while she was still dating Austin? And why is Austin sitting there like a bump on a log and not saying anything? What's going on here?
There has to be something behind the scenes with that because he was way too upset at Madison for the situation.
Mhm.
And I was like, this is odd that you're this mad about
Yeah.
this situation. I want to know what happened behind the scenes personally, if I'm being
It
honest.
it just didn't make any sense to me, but then we find out maybe it's because of what she said on Watch What Happens Live
Right,
about Craig's girlfriend, that Austin had slept with her,
right.
but Austin slept with her before Craig got with her, and this is Natalie, I think her name is.
Yes,
He slept with her before Craig and Natalie got together,
right.
and it was just I hate to say it, a hit and quit it because Austin was like, oh, this girl lives in New York. She's not from down here. She doesn't know anybody. Great. But then Austin is the one who introduces Natalie to Craig.
Right.
Oh my God.
That was my thing. I'm like, oh, that's interesting.
All of the intermingling of peens and vajayjays in this town is kind of icky.
It's a small town.
Yeah.
There's not too much. There's not too much viable stuff to go around. So they like, look, this is what we got to go with. We going with it. That's all.
This is so crazy, but even if that is the reason why he's so angry at Madison, meaning Craig, the the heat ratio I don't think was warranted. So what, she said that on Watch What Happens Live. You didn't think it was going to get out eventually
Like
somewhere?
his reaction doesn't fit the issue.
Yeah.
That's what,
Um
that's why I struggle with him. Like, sir, you can be upset, fine, but your reaction is not warrant. This reaction is not warranted in this particular realm. It doesn't like the punishment doesn't fit the crime, basically.
mhm. Well, she denies cheating on Austin. What do you believe that?
No, I just don't. I mean, just own it and be moving on. Like, you got tired of Austin. You thought he wasn't good enough, and you just did what you did. I mean, you liked having him around because he was convenient. That's basically what it comes down to.
Mhm. Then we find out that Andy met Natalie as she was a contestant on Love Connection back in the
Mm-hmm.
day. This is so
Yep.
gross. So I guess she just wants to be on reality TV.
Right.
Um,
I mean, I'm not mad at her for it, but you need to own that. In my personal opinion, you need to own that. Sit in it and have a good time.
Jesus, I think that whole fight took up way too much time. Like it took
Yeah,
up the first two segments of the show.
it was unnecessary.
It wasn't. Then we go over to Shep. Who knew he wrote a book?
Right.
Average Expectations Lowering the Bar, appropriately titled.
Yes. Agreed.
Um, we talk about the evolution of Shep, how he's been with Taylor for a year. Um, Danny says that he's matured since they were together. It's about damn time.
Mm-hmm.
And then the question comes up, has he been faithful?
Right.
He paused a really long time.
Exactly. I'm like, no, you haven't.
Well, he says that one of his, I guess, old hookups texted him and that there was a kiss in an alley somewhere. He'd been drinking, but afterwards he said he was going to turn it around. And Leva made a good comment. She said that the guys romanticize cheating.
And she didn't lie.
Hmm. The
She didn't
guys make
lie
a lot of excuses for their poor behavior on this show.
all the time.
Hmm.
And it's kind of
Um,
annoying.
yeah, but if Shep is finally maturing, yay, because he's like 40 something now, right?
Yes.
It's time. It's
Agreed.
time. Do I think he's gonna last with Taylor? No,
Mm,
I don't.
really?
To me, when a girl, like, he keeps on saying that, she's okay with everything that he does, like, she, always allowing a guy like Shep, who's prone to bad behavior or poor judgments or excessive drinking, which leads to both of those two things. I don't know. To me, it seems like you're giving hall passes, but be careful when you're giving those hall passes because there's going to be one that he's going to think that you gave, but it's a step too far for you.
Correct.
Like you're letting out too much on the leash. Sorry. Either
Exactly.
you're in a committed relationship or you're not. And I don't think she's old enough to maneuver the nuances that are Shep. I'll leave it.
Agreed. She's only like 26, 27, so she's still kind of a baby.
Mhm. Um, he does say that last year was really dark for him. He was very bored and like that post of the homeless person, he regretted that, but only after talking with his parents. Like he
Mm-hmm.
says he was openly defiant about that. He says he knew that that was funny. And then his parents expressed disappointment, and that's when he's like, "Oh, so you couldn't hear that when Pringle and all your other friends tell you that that was, dumb and dirty."
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Shep.
He's learning. He's getting there. So I'm gonna take it.
You could take it. I'm just, I'm tired of Shep. Like I was tired of Shep like 2 seasons ago with this behavior. It had worn me out. It really had. Um, what else did we see here? Oh, I love when Shep calls Austin Madison's cheap labor. That was classic.
I was like, wow. And you're not lying. You're not lying, Shep. I mean, Austin, like if you, I mean, Austin's willing to put in all this work and do get nothing out of it. Why not keep him around?
Oh my gosh.
He's literally minimal effort. Literally,
Yeah.
like Taylor. If you think about it, Taylor, did nothing for him but help him out at his beer like thing, and that was only because it was on camera. So yeah, why not?
Let's see. Then we get to where Andy gives Craig praise that he's used this platform to make the biggest success of himself. And he wants to know if Shep has to eat crow. He won't.
Nope.
Um, Shep says, I want him to be comfortable and happy.
Right.
Um,
Comfortable and happy. I love it.
but Craig does like I think this is where he gives props to Austin and says that he finally got his beers into the supermarket.
Hmm.
Which supermarkets? The ones in the Carolinas?
Probably.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Because I would like to try it. After all of these years of him talking about this beer, I would like to try it. I'm not a big beer person, but
Oh, me neither.
I
Not at
prefer
all.
stout, but I would give it a try.
I'm just not a beer person like at all. So, like if
Mm.
it's super cold, like, it has to be super cold, not to be in the mood for one. But like for me, just like, oh, I want a beer is like, nah, I'm cool.
No, I can understand that because I'm like that as well. If I'm doing a brewed beverage, it will be a stout, not a beer. I think I want something more with more substance.
Okay.
Um, but a regular beer has
Hmm.
it's a really good place. Like if it's super super hot outside, you're at the beach and you want something really cold and refreshing, a super
Okay.
cold beer hits the spot.
Gotcha. Okay.
Time and place appropriate. Okay, so then they talk to Leva, and she says that she's getting to know everyone better on the show. She's seeing different like sides to them as opposed to being like the bar and restaurant owner,
Hmm.
seeing that side of them, like having to kick Shep out. She's getting to know them I guess a personal level as opposed to professional.
Right.
Um, I found it not surprising that Shep was the only one that she's had to ask to leave in her establishment.
Me neither. To be honest, if I'm being honest, if I'm being
I
completely honest.
What I was surprised at was that she hasn't spoken to Cameron. What happened
Yeah,
there?
I think her explanation makes sense. It's like she didn't want to know anything about the show. and Leva filming. Like I think she just didn't want to hear anything. To be honest,
It seems she lost touch with Craig too.
yeah, I think it's just more like their life is the show at that point, and she just really
Mhm.
didn't want to hear about the show at all. I think that's really what it was because she,
Kathryn Oh, go
but
ahead. No, you
because
go.
Cameron doesn't seem the type to like drop friends like that. I think she it's just I can't even deal with it. No one in the show, and then I think Danny made a good point too that Cameron likes to have complete control of her life, and the show
Mhm.
was the outlier.
Mhm.
So her not being on the show, I think she's more like I just don't really want to talk to you that much because you're going to bring up the show's going to come up,
Mhm.
and she
Mhm.
just didn't want to deal with that. So I get it.
So she just disconnected from anyone who is associated with the show while they were taping and while it was filming and all of
Mhm.
that. That makes sense.
That's my speculation. Yes.
Yeah, because I mean, that's the same thing that she took, the same like strategy or mindset that she took with her reproductive health when she was going through that conflict of, she's a wife, she wants to be a mother, she doesn't want to be a mother, can she handle it? Like she did the
Hmm.
same thing, that disassociation thing
Yeah.
with that. So I can see that that makes sense now. It didn't make sense when I was watching it, but now it makes sense. Kathryn also takes that moment to tell everybody that she was not the one who started the rumor that caused Cameron not to appear this season, that it had nothing to do with her, that the rumor was not the reason why she didn't appear. Like it seemed like almost she was signed up for it, and then the day of filming, she backed out.
Right.
Interesting.
I thought that was very like, and everyone backed her up too. So there must have been something else going on.
And then
Yeah,
Kathryn lets loose on Leva.
which was unnecessary. She acted like
What?
a she acted like a child.
Someone rehearsed her really well, because how was Leva trying to steer her narrative?
Right.
How?
I'm like, and that would be like a really really hard thing to do at that point. 'Cause everyone had already made up their mind.
Hmm. Well, as she said, they haven't seen that bitch in a long time and she's back. Great. So part two should be even more aggravating of this
Hmm.
episode.
Yeah, because like if I'm looking at Catherine, I'm like, you're not that girl, so calm down. Like, if we really want to be honest, you're not that girl, so be easy.
Well, she is when like right before we find out she goes to rehab. Like anytime that she's been that agitated on a reunion or on the shows, we find out a few months down the line that she's had to go and get help.
True. But then she's never. I don't think she's ever met her match in Leva though. So yeah, I'm like, Boo Kins, calm down, calm it down. It's gonna be okay. Don't don't get in the fight you can't win.
We'll see how long this little fit that she has lasts. I mean, she's got to run out of a script sooner or later.
Fair.
All right. So that basically sums up Southern Charm season 7, episode 11, reunion part 1. I guess we'll see the reunion part 2 next week.
Yes, that's the way it looks. They didn't say like 2 weeks later or anything like that. So I'm interested to see um what actually goes on. You know what I mean? I want to see, are they gonna like, are we really gonna get into it, or is it just gonna be more of this like kind of fluffy stuff?
I don't think we will get any resolution to anything, because if this particular episode is any indication, it'll just be a lot of people screaming over each other. Um,
Mm,
and arguing over nothing that either we didn't see in this season or an irrelevant argument to begin with. I just want
Gotcha.
this season to be over.
Yeah,
Maybe
same.
they'll do better next season.
I think they will. I really think they will. I mean, I think there'll be some cast changes. Hopefully, Cameron comes back, and I think, and hopefully, COVID will be less or gone. So I think it'll be much better this season. I'm just going to hang up to circumstances that they can control.
You're so optimistic.
I try to be fair. I do my best.
Okay, guys, thank you so much. If you like this particular review, if you have any comments, questions, anything like that, if you totally disagree with us, put it in the comments section below. Please give us a thumbs up if you like the review. If you haven't already, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you will get alerts every time we send out new content. Until next time, bye.
Bye.